Hey guys, Raw Motivations here. Ben Taylor here to talk to you about narcissism. If you don't follow me yet, please click subscribe because I'm on this channel to bring awareness about narcissism and healing, growth, and change to be influential in your life on a day-to-day basis. Today what I want to talk about is narcissism and the end of that relationship. The end as it tapers down, as it fires up, whatever it might be. The end of that relationship is normally pretty confusing. And there's a lot of things that are going on in that relationship. You might be with a narcissist that you're the one that found out. You found out that they were cheating on you. You found out that they were lying or gaslighting or abusing you. And you're like, hey, that's enough. I'm getting out. There might be several different responses that you're going to get from this person. I know for one, there's the response of you saying like, hey, it's over. We're done. I'm moving on. We're not doing this anymore. That the narcissist will then produce emotion. They'll produce these tears. They'll produce these fake crying, this fake sobbing, or this idea of like, I can't do life without you. And they'll do everything in their power to make you stay, to get you back. Sometimes there'll be love bombing. Sometimes there'll be future faking. Sometimes there'll be the idea of promising, giving, doing whatever it takes to be able to lock you in for just a little bit longer. When that accountability piece rises up and you're like, no, like I'm leaving because you did this, this, and this. Then they're like, hey, I've got a list. I can work on this. Okay, well, I'll change this. I'll sign up for therapy sometime. I'll work on this. I'll communicate better. Like whatever it is, they'll go down that list and be like, hey, all those things I'll do for you. Sometimes this catches people. They're like, oh, now they're changing. They're acknowledging what I've been saying. And so they stay a little bit longer, then they realize that acknowledgement was just a slight chance and a slight moment, and it reverts back to normal because they don't change. They don't continue that process of realization and admitting it and changing to be a better person. Maybe you're on the other side where you said, hey, like I'm leaving, and the narcissist was just like, okay, forget you. And they left, or they waited for you to leave. You see, behind both of these is the idea that the narcissist wants the other person to leave. Sometimes this is why they'll bring up, hey, I've been cheating on you. Sometimes they'll even show or let you find out about different things happening because they want the relationship to end. And you might be like, why would they want that? Like, I thought I was grade A supply. I thought I was someone that connected with them. I thought I was someone that showed them a lot of love. And a lot of times people in this moment, they try to take the idea, the concept of what's going on, and they try to put it back on themselves. I wasn't good enough. I didn't love correctly. I should have done better. I should have loved more. Maybe they just didn't. Maybe I didn't. And the thoughts go on and on. But in reality, it doesn't have anything to do with you. It has everything, as always, to do with the narcissist. Their image, their control, their feelings, their shame, their things that drive them and push them in a certain direction. But it's not about you, it's about the narcissist. Because as a self-aware narcissist, as someone who has started to work on my recovery, on my journey out of the shithole of narcissism to understand what's going on, there's an aspect that I know it can be a very deep and dark place that someone doesn't want to come out of. Because that's hard. It's not easy. It's a place that you have to learn to be honest and vulnerable and start implementing things in your life to set about consistent change on a day-to-day basis. That's not possible for a lot of narcissists because they don't want to admit what's actually going on. So a narcissist, sometimes they'll bring up stuff, they'll say stuff, they'll manipulate in certain ways to get you to leave. I'm sure you've already seen videos that I've done or other people have done about reactive abuse, where they're pushing you to your limit, to your max, and then a little bit further just to get a rise out of you, just to get you to rear back and slap them, just to get you to get more frustrated, just to get you to attack them. And then they completely change. When that reactive abuse kicks off, they're like, see, this is the crazy that I've had to deal with. See, look at this. I have this on video now of you attacking me. This was totally unprovoked. I don't know why you did this. And they'll fabricate lies and deception the whole way through. You see, majority of narcissists in a relationship, they'd rather cheat, they'd rather gaslight, they'd rather lie, they'd rather manipulate than they would just tell you the truth. Then they will just be completely honest and say, hey, I don't care about you and I'm leaving. Majority of narcissists don't have the balls to do that. because they'd have to admit that they're not in love with this person. They'd have to admit defeat, that a certain conquest is no longer working. They'd have to look at failure when their friends and family judge them for getting a divorce or leaving the person that was the best person for them. So a lot of times a narcissist will try to manipulate the situation to get reactive abuse, to get a reactive emotion, to get reactive leaving, a reactive breakup, I guess, to the idea that you leave them because of their abuse, because of what they've done, and they want that. They want that sometimes because they don't want to look like the bad guy. Remember, narcissism is about shame, and it's about image, and it's about control. If I can minimize the shame that I feel by protecting the image and controlling what everybody else sees, I'm going to do that every single time. That's the thought process that goes on in my head. It's a lot easier to not show the world vulnerability, to not show the world shame, to not show the world the deep, dark pit, than it is to actually say, hey, I'm going to be honest and vulnerable with you, and I'm going to tell you how it is. Narcissists lie constantly. We know that. Like, toxic people lie. They abuse constantly. We know that. And the difference is, for a narcissistic person, like, they need to come to a place where they understand, hey, this is who I am, and I need to stop lying and get to the place where I can understand and acknowledge what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and I can work the process towards healing and change. The problem is most don't want to do that. What they'd rather do is put your life through hell so that you're the one that packs up your bags and leave. Oftentimes, at that very end, that last moment, like we're talking, like your bags are packed, you're walking out the door, you're saying bye to the kids, you're whatever it might be, that last moment is sometimes when you see them try. Like, I just can't believe that you're leaving. Like, I'll try. I'll go to counseling. I'll do whatever you want. We can do this. We can do this. Maybe there's tears involved. Maybe there's hugs. Maybe there's a bunch of stuff going on. But at that moment in time, it's too late. Because you made up your mind to choose your health and your freedom over your abuse and lack of sanity. But in that moment, what's happening is the narcissist is saying, hey, I want you to stay so that you can look back at them and say, no, you had your chance, and you walk away. Because then what will happen is then they can go to their friends and their family and everybody else in their lives, and they can say, hey, I tried. I tried to get her to stay. I tried to convince him to go to counseling with me. I tried these different things, and they just wouldn't. The narcissist will take the narrative and flip it back on them so that they come across like other people as being the victim. The person who abused the other person is now the one pretending to be the victim. And they'll say, hey, I tried. Hey, I begged her not to leave. I begged them to stay. All these type of things. And the other person, the victim, walks away from the situation and looks like the bad guy. This is why a lot of times people don't believe the victim, because they're like, I don't see it. All I see is the outward image, and the outward image I see looks pretty good. He doesn't look that bad. She doesn't look that abusive. He looks like a good father. She looks like a loving mother. But in reality, the abuse that goes on underneath the surface and behind closed doors would hurt anybody. But people don't see it. Is that you? Do you feel like you're in a relationship that people don't see you? That people don't see what you're going through? That people don't understand the shit that you've been through on a day-to-day basis? And if that's you, I want you to know that there's hope for healing. And it's not by staying in it with an abuser. It's not by living in that relationship and getting abused day by day. It's by getting free and focusing on your healing, growing you, and changing you to be the best person possible. Because typically when you look at a narcissist and a victim, one of the biggest differences between the two of them is that one can change. And typically it's not the narcissist, because they're unwilling to acknowledge what they've done to other people. But if you've been in one of these relationships and you want to look at healing, at growing, and at changing, I'd love to talk to you. Click on the link down below, schedule time with me, and we can talk, because I talk to people daily. I talk to people who are victims of narcissistic abuse, and they're in that trauma bond. They feel addicted. They feel crazy. They feel mental with the idea that they want to go back with someone that they know is abusing them, that they know is hurting them, that they know is toxic. But they still feel like, I gotta go back. Like, I'm so used to this person. Like, they're my soulmate. They're my soul tie. Like, I need to go back to this person because we're just so good together. We have a connection. It's okay. The abuse isn't that bad. More often than not, it is. And you need a guide to get you out of the shit that you're in and to get you to a higher level of healing and growth. I hope you make that choice for your healing, for your safety, to find the best way that you can become the best you, the best version of you. If you're interested, follow my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook for small nuggets of truth every single day. If you want to listen to a podcast, we've got the Spotify and we've got it on Apple. Would love to be able to hear your thoughts. Just give us some ratings, hear the different things going on there. And thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't.